Getting a home ready to sell in the Sonoran Desert is an entirely different process than listing a property in the Midwest or East Coast. Here, intense UV sunlight bakes garage doors, fades stucco, and degrades exterior trim at a highly accelerated rate. Many of the buyers looking at your property are relocating from cooler climates, and they bring very specific anxieties about how to maintain a home in this extreme environment. Generic real estate advice tells you to water a lush green lawn until it looks perfect, but local buyers are looking for a clean, low-maintenance desert aesthetic. This leaves you with a difficult balancing act. You don't want to list the house looking tired and leave thousands of dollars on the closing table because buyers couldn't see past the dust. But you also can't afford to pour $30,000 into upgrades that buyers in this market won't actually pay for. To solve this, we are going to look at every single pre-listing task strictly through the lens of return on investment. By doing the specific, localized math on what actually moves the needle in Tucson, you can protect your equity and secure the highest possible offer without wasting your capital. Before you even think about picking out paint swatches or staging furniture, you have to address the structural items that make out-of-state buyers nervous. We call these the Big Three. First is the air conditioning. An aging HVAC system with no recent service record causes immediate panic for a buyer who doesn't know how to survive a desert summer. Second is the roof. Proactively getting a flat roof recoated and securing a certification proves the home is sealed and safe. This document details bonus high ROI extras for Tucson sellers. Looking at the bottom 3 rows, having a current termite warranty, a roof certification, and HVAC service documentation reduces deal friction immensely. Paying for these fixes consumes your upfront capital, and once they are done, they are completely invisible to the naked eye. However, skipping them is incredibly expensive. Buyers will mentally deduct up to $30,000 from their offer for perceived issues that might only cost you a third of that to actually fix. Funding these unglamorous, practical repairs provides the essential peace of mind buyers need to stay at the table and make a strong offer. Once the structure is solid, we can look at the cosmetic upgrades that offer the best return for your money. This ROI guide shows that a professional deep clean, costing between $400 and $700, is universally recommended as a do-first priority. You want to focus specifically on areas that signal deferred maintenance, like neglected tile grout or heavy hard water film on your shower glass. Next, address the walls. If you have dark reds, yellows, or dated Tuscan color schemes, neutralizing those choices is highly effective. Look at the Tucson tips section in this data. It specifically advises choosing warm, organic neutrals, like alabaster, accessible beige, or Swiss coffee. Heavy browns make spaces feel small, and the standard cool flipper gray tends to look incredibly harsh and uninviting in the Southwest. Warm neutrals, on the other hand, soften the intense, bright desert light and photograph beautifully for your online listing.
A few $100s spent making the home immaculate, combined with fresh, neutral walls, is the safest bet you can make, frequently recovering its entire cost or more at resale. Now we arrive at the most dangerous category for a seller's budget: kitchens and bathrooms. Dropping $40,000 to $80,000 on a massive gut remodel before you list is a major financial trap. Historically, these upscale remodels only recoup 50 to 60% locally. Instead of a full renovation, execute what we call the mini lift. This involves spending $3,000 to $6,000 to professionally paint or reface your existing solid cabinet boxes. You pair those fresh cabinets with updated, modern drawer pulls and lighting fixtures, sticking to finishes like matte black or brushed gold. The secret to keeping this budget tight is leaving the existing layout exactly as it is. Do not move the plumbing or tear out functional structures. Refreshing the surface finishes meets modern buyer expectations perfectly, without risking your capital on a highly personalized, expensive layout you will never get to use. Moving outside, it's crucial to understand that buyers in this market view the patio and yard as a second living room. You need to present a clean desert yard. That means bringing in a crew for a hard trim to lift Palo Verde canopies, pulling weeds from the gravel, and putting down fresh decomposed granite. As this source shows in the Tucson tips, setting up an outdoor dining space and shooting it at golden hour is often the single visual that gets a buyer to book a tour.
These details work together to sell the emotional appeal of the Southwest lifestyle. Buyers want to picture themselves relaxing outside on a cool evening. Putting modest dollars into a tidy, well-staged xeriscape captures that buyer interest far more effectively than pouring money into an expensive interior project. We can organize all of these recommendations into an actionable, step-by-step strategy based entirely on your available timeline and budget. This spending plan outlines Tier 1, the absolute must-dos to establish a baseline of quality. This covers clearing clutter, a professional deep clean, HVAC service, and removing yard debris. With more capital, move to Tier 2 for the highest cosmetic returns. This is where you execute the kitchen mini lift, neutralize tired wall colors, and bring in staging for the main rooms and patio. Regardless of your budget, you should almost always skip the Tier 3 luxury gut remodels right before listing. A successful sale in Tucson doesn't require building a luxury spa. It relies entirely on proving to the buyer that the home has been meticulously maintained. While the math behind these upgrades is clear, applying it correctly means evaluating how your property stacks up against comparable sales in your neighborhood. That's where a professional room-by-room walkthrough becomes invaluable. An expert eye can tailor this blueprint directly to your floor plan. You don't have to guess which projects will pay off and which ones won't. Reach out to John Harned at Epic Realty today by calling 520-675-1240 or emailing johnharned@epic.me, and let's build your custom pre-listing plan.